A woman who wears many hats. Former banker, now she's the CEO of Hairsenta. She's the founder of the Leading Center. She's the founder of Hips Africa. The list goes on and on and on. And she's here in the studios with us, Gwen Addo. She said she's not too good at dancing, so maybe at the end we'll get someone to teach her a few moves here and there. You look so glorious.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Day Show.
Thank you so much.
How are you
Berla.
doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
I'm wondering what informed your choice of outfit this morning.
Can you imagine?
What were you thinking when you woke up?
Well, I mean, I'm coming to see Berla Mundi. So glorious.
Aww.
What can I do?
Everybody makes me feel so good. And I was looking forward to meeting you as well, so we can tell your story to the rest of the world.
Thank you, Berla.
I know you started off as a banker, and you said you got tired along the line, decided to start your own business. But venturing into the world of entrepreneurship, had that always been a childhood dream for you?
As a child, I'd always wanted to be an air hostess. I was thinking maybe because of the clothes that I saw them wear, it was so beautiful and cute, and I imagined myself wearing that. But then again, as I grew up, I realized that my passion has always been to serve others. You know, and I remember being on a flight and always imagining how I would ask someone if they wanted tea or coffee, and I would say, oh, I would have asked it better. You know, and
how would you ask it then? What would you say?
The way I would bow my head, you know, the way there's something about service, okay? That is not just in words, it's in the way you carry yourself. And that's always been my passion. So if entrepreneurship has anything to do with serving, then I guess I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
How did you feel at that moment when you made that decision that I'm going to sell hair and I'm going to make this a career?
Well, I was in the bank. My dream also was to be a lawyer. So ending up at the bank, I was doing my national service. Yes, my grandfather was a lawyer.
That. Okay.
Yes, you know, so, and it also connects to service because I wanted to speak up for people that did not have the power or the means to speak for themselves. So I think somehow it's all connected. So at the bank, I didn't grow up with a lot of hair. I've always had challenges with hair. Unlike some of you who have a lot of hair growing, I didn't have that, you know, gift. So hair has always been my thing. And so going into hair was something that came very naturally to me. And it wasn't about selling, it was about serving once again. Somehow serving made way for my gain, and Hairsenta is where it is today. And
it's doing an incredible job. Serving so many people. Has it been an easy journey for you?
It's tough.
It's still tough?
Yes, because, you know, you get, as you grow bigger, it becomes harder. People think, oh, you know, you get used to it. No. You know, when you're smaller, it's difficult, but when you grow bigger, now people expect more. So the work actually gets harder. You have to get the right people on your team to push the agenda.
That's the thing. Do you have the right people? And have you had people who you thought were right, but along the line you realized, this person is not too good for my business. Time to let them go.
Yeah, like many entrepreneurs, I think my biggest mistake was thinking that people were my greatest asset. So I was employing people. I thought, well, the more people we had, the better the job would go. But I think getting the right people is your greatest asset, and that is not easy around here. You have to invest in a lot of training, and also I think the greatest challenge we have is our mindset, you know, which I think if we explore, this interview will go nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, that has been the greatest challenge, but we're working on it. It's work in progress,
And you're enjoying doing this, right?
I'm enjoying, I mean.
But you see, that's the thing. There's so much diversity in what you do now because you're not only focused on selling quality hair, and the branding is top notch, I must say. Like every time you go on Hairsenta, on Instagram or any of the social media pages, there's something new. There's a way they are making sure that there's top of mind awareness of the brand. But even aside that, I see that you're veering into lots of other things. You have the Leading Center now, where you're teaching what, young entrepreneurs?
Young entrepreneurs, and then financing them as well.
Why is that important?
It's important to me because, you see, not everybody has a big sister, a big brother. Not everybody has support. And a lot of times we leave everything to the government. So we have to ask ourselves, if they are not doing it and we can, why are we not doing it? Are we going to wait for them and have the system corrupt itself, or we're going to help? So Leading Center was basically to help, to give a hand to the young entrepreneur who probably needs maybe 10,000 cedis, 15,000, 20,000, and they probably will get involved in something that is not worthy of it.
Yeah.
So we are here as, you know, entrepreneurs to source funding from others who are doing well to help some of these young people. But not only that, to also teach, to guide them when it comes to business strategy, help them to grow. Because it's very important that if we really say we want change, then whatever that God has given us right now, we need to leverage on that and become the change to others.
When did this light bulb go up in your head? Was it because I know you did a course?
COVID.
Was it, yeah. Oh, it was COVID.
Yes. So before COVID-19, my team and I were going to have a social media class. You know, the success story of Hairsenta is the fact that the brand was purely built out of social media. So we're going to have a strategy class to help people and teach them how it all works.
Yeah.
Somehow COVID happened, and then we had almost 150 people who had registered, and we couldn't have the class.
Yeah.
So what I had to do was to teach over 150 entrepreneurs one-on-one via Zoom. Yes, the entire time. You know, so during those sessions, it was about 2-hour sessions that I realized that, wow, we need to do more. We need to actually help people. People are facing serious issues, and TLS has to be birthed. So it's a foundation. You don't pay anything to be taught.
You don't pay anything to be taught?
No.
How many of you are joining this class? Because I'm going to be one of those.
To be taught and to be financed.
Oh,
you know,
that's beautiful.
Yes.
That's
you know,
beautiful.
It's our give back. Because, I mean, Hairsenta, they've been good to Hairsenta. I mean, when we have a sale, people come the night before, they sleep over to give us money.
Yeah.
So the question is, yes, we will place it back into the business, but it's also essential that we place it back into the country, and that's what TLS is about.
How have you remained so relevant all these years?
God.
It's God?
Yes, because I didn't put myself first.
Is that not cliche? You find a lot of people saying that.
I don't think it's cliche. I think we have normalized it and made it sound like a cliche because we don't even take it seriously. We say God, but we don't mean it. You know, a lot of times we place ourselves before God. We think we are the business. We are the strategists. We know the right things to do.
Yeah.
But our help comes from Him. So if you're doing business or if you're doing anything and you place God first, God does not fade away. God has no expiry date. He makes sure you continue to stay relevant because He's a relevant God.
This journey with God, when did it get this serious? Have you always been like that? Because I noticed that, you know, with your personal page as well, you started sharing memory verses and you'd write a whole sermon sometimes, and I'll take my time and read, and I was always commenting. I'm sure you see them, but I was always so touched by some of the things that you wrote. How did it get so serious?
I was always a churchgoer. I mean, I was in Lighthouse Chapel. I was actually a member of the choir, but then I was in the choir because I wanted to get noticed.
Not because you could sing?
No.
Because I was going to ask you to sing.
No.
Sing. Give us a hymn. We need to hear Gwen sing.
No, because I thought it was good. It was good for publicity. But until later on in life, when I got involved, you know, with others like my husband, who made me understand that church is not just showing up at, you know, church, but actually understanding the nature of God. Things started to change for me. And then, you know, next thing I knew, I was writing on social media. Next thing I knew, I was writing a book.
A book, I know. And I was at the launch, and it was so touching, the stories that you told. Because what, you were just writing journals and then...
Yes, I was just writing captions.
Okay.
You know, because, I mean, people send me DMs all the time and then they share with me. So I just figured maybe I should just write captions for those that are not, because you need to understand the terrain that we're in. Not everybody is confident. We're usually timid. We're usually afraid that you will judge us. So we will not tell you what we're going through. So I think it's very important that if we know better, we share it so that the people that cannot come out can actually, you know, absorb what we share and then, you know, be blessed by it.
It's been 2 months since you launched your book.
Yes,
right?
July. We launched in July.
In July, August, September. So 2 months.
2 months.
How's it doing?
Yeah, it's doing amazing. It's doing amazing. We're doing a tour next February.
Okay.
Because of Hips Africa and all of that, we're not able. We had to, you know, sort of pause on the book.
Okay.
The book tour till later in
So
the
you're
year.
going to be touring what? Campuses, churches?
Campuses, churches, outside of Ghana. I mean, so far it's doing very well outside, in New York especially.
Wow.
Yes, a lot of students, because we wrote the book for the youth. It's titled Direction. So I mean, if you're young, one of the most important gifts anyone can give you is direction, because if you have direction, you can access anything that you want for yourself.
Yeah, and you should get the book as well. I'm sure she'll drop those details as to how you can get
I think everybody should get a free copy. We have a few people that have actually donated.
So everybody here gets a free copy. Oh, this is where I stand. Do the boogie. Oh, we love this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
I can't believe this. This is a surprise. Are you going to read it? Yeah. Don't take the book and go and hide it under your pillow. Because every morning we'll have to answer to Gwen what we learned. Deal? Yeah. But let's talk about Hips Africa now.
Yes.
Second edition? Coming up?
Second edition.
When is it happening?
September 24th and 25th.
Tell us about Hips and how that also came about.
Okay, so Hips Africa came about, I mean, this was an idea, my brother and I. So I'm co-founder of Hips Africa. It's myself and Jill of Famous Films. So basically, we thought about this years ago, and you look at the system, okay, when there are awards and all of that, beauty is never mentioned. We have oil and gas and all of those other ones, law, but you never hear about beauty. Yeah. But then I look at you, I look at my audience, I look at the cameramen here, I look at our DJ, I look at everybody here. Everybody is a part of the beauty chain. Yeah. Because I believe some people took their shower today and they used soap. Yeah. Some people brushed their hair, some are wearing hats, shirts, clothes, because Hips Africa is fashion, beauty, hair, and skin. So you realize that we're all part of the value chain of beauty. So why is it that is not being projected? So our mission at Hips Africa is to make sure some of these businesses are inspired by, what is happening, and then continue to, even create more goodness and more excellence. So Hips Africa is to project the beauty industry by organizing the biggest trade show at the conference center, where you're going to meet vendors. There are going to be live stage shows, and as usual, you cannot do anything without thinking about educating. Yeah. So there's going to be the educational aspects where you can attend free classes on business strategy, on skill development, and so many. So Hips Africa, it's a full package. Yeah, okay, it's an experience.
And we'll all be there to support.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Berla. Berla was actually there, the first.
I was the host for the first edition.
She was the host for the first edition.
I was excited
and you were fantastic. And I thank you for your support.
Thank
you. You have a beautiful soul.
Thank
by the
you.
way.
And you have an amazing soul. I mean, she supported me for my BU conference, the first edition. Was anybody there? Anyone here? Oh, yes. But I mean, I called on her. In fact, I remember I came to you a year before and I told you about it. But for some reason, I couldn't run with the dates that I had set. I called her back. She was like, I promised you I'll do it. So I'll do it anyway. And she showed up and she showed out. Thank you so much for all the support. It means a lot to me. God bless you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
How is the family doing?
Family as well. Yeah. My daughter is going on 13 now.
13?
So you know how it is, yes. Wow. So now they think they are all old.
I know. What's it like having a teen daughter?
It's not easy. They need a lot of attention. Yeah. And I think these are the times that, because I engage with a lot of older people, so they tell me that these are the critical times that you have to be there for her. But it's difficult. It's difficult because I have, other businesses that I'm running. There's the Yedia, and all of those ones, which are very tasking.
How many businesses do you run at the moment? Because at every point there's a new one that pops up.
Yeah, it's a couple of them. It's a couple of them. But yeah, so it's tasking. And my daughter is understanding, but my son, no.
He's not?
He's not at all. He will scream and shout and say, you don't have time for us and all of that. So I think it's not easy. Yeah. So I really respect people that are able to balance it, because I won't sit here and say I get it always right. I do get it wrong a lot of times, but I'm a work in progress.
You're working on it. Yeah. And you're an amazing mom too.
Thank you.
So keep it up, Gwen.
Thank you.
Final words before we go. And Especially to women entrepreneurs, because there are a lot of people who say, and I've heard former President Barack Obama say that women are actually better leaders than men. I don't know if you've heard that statement from him. Do you think it's true?
Well, I mean, I don't want to be gender biased. I mean, I think we're all, you know, as human beings, we're all capable of being great leaders. Okay, it's a foundation that really determines the kind of leadership that you sort of leverage on.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
10 years. 10 years.
Have you thought about it?
The next 10 years. Okay, so 10 years ago, we did a list. You know, during my MBA, we had a list where, you know, you had to basically write where you want to see yourself in 10 years. And I want you to do this exercise as well. So today when you go home, you make a list, okay? 10, 12, or 15 things that you want to become in the next 10 years. Once you're done with that list, pray over it, place it in an envelope, and then tuck it away.
Okay.
Don't open it, never check, just wait. So just remember the things that you wrote. And then in 10 years, go back and check if those things were achieved. So 10 years ago, I did have a plan, and by God's grace, some of it I can't tell now, but you'll see it from next year.
Okay.
By God's grace, those things are actualizing. So now, 10 years from this time, I think it can only be goodness by God's grace. I can't be specific.
Definitely. But you've achieved most of the things that you wrote 10 years ago.
10 years ago, and more.
I should try this exercise
And more.
too.
It's very tempting to open the envelope to see, but you'll be surprised when you actually flip open and then realize that, wow,
I'm
we did
always
that.
clearing, you know, things. So I feel like I'll throw it away before I even realize that.
Actually, it wasn't even 10 years. It's 5 years. It's 5 years development plan.
Okay.
Yes, so 10 years is too long. So 5 years. It's 5 years. So try it. It's fantastic. Just remember, and I guess to a point that you don't even remember the things that you wrote because life takes over.
Exactly. That's great. Gwen, thank you so much.
You're most
But we have a game
welcome.
to play before you go.
Okay.
And are you ready?
I hope it's not dancing.
Oh, it's not dancing. But before that, I know my audience would love to ask something. You're getting free books. You have to ask a question. Who's going to ask? Okay, so I have someone here in front. Okay, what do you want to ask?
My name is Gladys. My question is, how do you transition from what you are studying in school now to what you actually want to do in future?
Okay, so I think when it comes to our educational system, it's a little bit, you know, skewed towards you studying certain things, you know, it's been the norm. So I will use myself for example. I majored in philosophy, and I was very sure that I was going to do law. But then I ended up doing my national service at the bank, and I became a credit analyst, okay, doing numbers. Bear in mind, I was somebody that was very poor in mathematics. But somehow, it was a mindset shift, you know, that I had, because I thought just because I majored in philosophy, I have to be a lawyer. But then sometimes you have to look within yourself and realize that you're capable of so many things, okay? So it does not matter what you study. What matters is what you're capable of. So what matters is know yourself, okay? Don't know your subject. Your subject is limited. Know who you are, and if you know who you are, you realize that you can be so many things as long as you put your mind to it. So it's a smooth transition.
It is. Maybe one more before we take a break. There's another lady at the back. Okay.
Hi, my name is Sila. My question is, so as a big entrepreneur, how do you juggle your family and your work?
Okay. I think I answered that previously. It's a battle, you know. People talk about getting it balanced. I don't think it's true. You never will really get it balanced, especially if you have more than one child. You have a husband, you have all those things going on. It's not easy, but just understand that you can apportion your time. There are days that you'll be a good mom. There are days that you'll be a bad mom, a good wife, you know. But don't be too hard on yourself. Just set your priorities right. Make sure you're not just all over the place. Ensure you allocate times for everything. And when you're not able to complete what you set out to do, don't be too hard on yourself. Life goes on. You can fix it later.
Definitely. Life goes on. You can fix it later. And on that note, when we get back, we're playing the plastic cup game. Keep watching.